yeah, this is the school my parents enrolled me in. Instead, you're like, I only get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years left here. I need to squeeze out of this as everything I can. There are billions of people on the earth who don't have this opportunity to do what I'm doing right now. And God has put me in this place for such a time as this for me to learn and grow and gain wisdom and to become someone that I wouldn't become if I just came to school every day. Which we've all done that. We've all just gotten up and come to school. But now we have a purpose. Now I have a purpose. Anyway, we have a purpose. And so we can say, I don't know the big picture. I don't know why I'm doing all this. I don't know where this is going. But I know there's a purpose in it. And so I want to get out of it everything I can get out of it. I want to put into it everything I can put into it. Now, that's what they always say, right? You get out of it what you put in. It's time to put in. Put in what to the level you want to get out. Now, I know on the Lions Week trip, I'm sure that happened. At first, you're a little timid, and you're like, I don't know if I want to put in. I'm a little scared. But then once you did, anytime you put your heart out there, then you received so much back. Whatever you put in, God is just going to bless that. So I have about 2 years worth of information to go through. We don't have that time this morning. But what I will do is do a brief rundown of just how you can squeeze more out of these years. So obviously spiritually you can squeeze more out of these years. So maybe your quiet times take on a little bit more fervor. Maybe you realize, I can't do this in my own strength. I need you, Lord, and I'm going to meditate more. I'm going to soak in the word more. I'm going to have more communion with you because I realize it's not just that for the short term for me today, it's for eternity that this will make a difference in people's lives. Number 2, emotionally. I would say this to everybody in the room. Everyone can benefit from counseling. I'm not saying you all need to go get a professional counselor, but you do need good counsel, and you want to stay away from bad counsel because there's a lot of it out there. But if you just made a decision, I feel like I'm led to become a missionary, I would say go get counsel. Go get a counselor. Start working on yourself. Because the emotional side of you, we need to work through all the baggage of our childhood and our relationships with our parents and our relationships with our siblings and ourselves. We need to work through that and process that and get somewhere. Because if we just show up at a YWAM base and say, I'm ready to go, but I haven't done any of that work, all of that's going to come out. It'll all come out anyway, but it's all going to come out in maybe worse ways if we haven't begun the process. Really, that's an awesome thing. Just think of your life as like God's going to heal me and minister to me all my life long. And so whatever it takes, good relationships, a counselor, the right, whatever it is, mentors. So emotionally getting ready, mentally getting ready. And I'll be quick. So mentally getting ready, this is crazy. When I started, when I was in college, I did a biochemistry degree. And when I finished college, I said, Lord, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I felt called to missions, and I left biochemistry, and I thought in my mind, I'm never going back to science. Here I am teaching science. Now, if I had never gone to college for a science degree, I wouldn't be standing here teaching science. So God used that piece for his glory later. And so nothing is wasted. None of the things you will learn along the way are wasted. If you invest yourself in history class, can you imagine? Invest yourself in history class and you learn about history. That won't be wasted. There will be a moment where you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, that's why I really, God really had my heart attached to the, let's say Napoleon. I don't know who you're, all right. Couple other things quickly. I'm just going to sum up. There are physical ways to get in shape. There are relational ways to get in shape. to build into people and allow people to build into you. All right, I have a lot more to say, but I'm going to sum it up with this. We are on a ministry of reconciliation. 2 Corinthians 5:16 says, "So from now on, we regard no one from a worldly point of view. Though we once regarded Christ in this way, we do so no longer." And I think that's the awesome thing about a mission trip. That's the awesome thing about having your spiritual eyes opened, is you see people not from a worldly point of view. So when I go to my part-time job at Trader Joe's, I don't look at those people from a worldly point of view. I pray my way in the car. I pray during the day, all day for these people. I'm not seeing them as just this other human. I'm seeing them from a spiritual point of view. And when we are missionaries, we are seeing everyone from a spiritual point of view, not an earthly or worldly point of view. The other thing about this is we're missionaries every time we walk out our door, and that may be our front door, but it might even be our bedroom door. You may have people in your own home that you are a missionary to. So love well, listen well, invest well, and when the Spirit moves, stay in step with the Spirit and say what you need to say, and don't say what you shouldn't say. Just walk in step with the Spirit. All right, so those of you who've been in my classes have walked with me through the Song of Songs, and I love the whole picture of the Shulamite in the Song of Songs. At first she has this wrecked garden that's not even taken care of because she's taking care of other people's gardens. Then he comes in and he helps it flourish, and she learns how to love him, love the Lord. And then he says, let's go off and do something. Let's do a mission together. And she says, I'm scared, I'm not doing that. And then she looks for him and can't find him, but then she finds him. And then he comes back and they're together again. And then he says, let's go off and do a mission together. And she says, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm scared. And then she goes and looks for him and finds him. And then, looks for him, doesn't find him. She actually ends up getting beat up by the people who should be watching over her. So I will say this quickly. If you run into a season where you're being beat up by the people who should be watching over you, don't worry, God's got this. And it's unto something, because she finds him again. And when she finds him again, she's stronger in him, and she loves him more, and she has a depth in her. At the end of the book, I don't want to, spoiler alert, at the end of the book, she says to him, let's go to the mountains and do some mission. Now think about that. Instead of God calling her, she says to Jesus, let's go do this. I'm with you wherever you want to go. I'm in. I'm calling you out. Let's go. So, Lord, I pray for everyone in this room and everyone, even the people who are absent, if there are any. I pray that for our whole school, that you will give us eyes to see you clearly, a heart to receive you fully and deeply. I pray that these decisions would be set in our hearts eternally. I pray for anyone who's considering these decisions. I pray that there would be people who their hearts would turn even today. And I pray for next steps. I pray for next steps for everyone. I pray that it could get really practical. And I pray that we can do that as a community, that we can help each other walk this path. We love you, Jesus. You are worth it. In Jesus' name.